In today's video, we will take a pleasant walk through some woodland and across open fields before starting back alongside the river Derwent to view the remains of a 12th century priory. This is Kirkham. Our walk started at the car park outside the entrance of Kirkham Priory. The car park is quite small, therefore fills up quickly, and at the time of our visit there was no charge. We crossed over Kirkham Bridge and we noticed some people kayaking along the river. We saw people doing this throughout our time along the river, and it looked like a nice way to enjoy the peacefulness of the river. After enjoying the river views on both sides of the bridge, we crossed the railway line and continued up the hill until we saw the path leading off into Oakcliff Wood. The path in the wood is easy to follow with the yellow arrows pointing the direction to go. The last section was quite steep, but this is the only one major uphill part of the walk. The rest is level or downhill and no stiles to climb over. The path then emerges onto a road where we turn left and followed it for a few yards before turning left again to walk along a grass track. There was some nice scenery here, with the low rolling hills above the village of Crum and views over the Vale of York. We followed the track along the edge of the fields until we returned to Oakcliff Wood, where the path leads high above the river. While out walking in the countryside, it's always interesting to notice the seasonal changes that nature offers. In late summer and early autumn, which in when we had this walk, there were many berries starting to appear, such as blackberry, elderberry, blackthorn, also known as sloe, and the common hawthorn. The path leaves the wood and onto an open pasture. We turn right from the gate and follow the track leading to Ryder's Lane. This part of the walk opens up to a scenic part of the Vale of York, and found an opportunity to take a rest on an old log to enjoy the view before continuing downhill to join the lane past the farm. walk along the path until it meets with Ryder's Lane. The path was flat and it was an easy walk. You can hear approaching train that will eventually cross the railway line at Horsham Gates, which we also walked through. The railway that passes through here is the York to Scarborough line, and this section is possibly the most scenic part of the journey as the track meanders along the River Derwent. This scenic section was due to the fact that the builders of the line, George Hudson's York and North Midland Railway Company, decided that rather than constructing a tunnel through the Howards Hills, it would be quicker to follow the path of the river. The line opened in July 1845 and has been a popular route for people taking excursions and holidays to the East Coast. After about a quarter of a mile, there is a signpost indicating the footpath across an open field. Here it is important to stick to the track so as not to disturb any of the farmers' crops, which may be growing, or scare any of the animals which are grazing. The walk continues in a straight line, passing through a couple of gates leading to the River Derwent. Please make sure to securely close all the gates so animals won't go beyond their designated grazing area. Also, to always remember the countryside code when walking in this kind of landscape. The River Derwent is 71.5 miles long and has its source in Fylingdales Moor in the North York Moors and runs through the North and East Yorkshire until its confluence with the River Ouse at Barmby on the Marsh between Selby and Goole. The path along the river passes through typical riparian scenery, and I can imagine it will be a nice walk during autumn when the changing colors of the leaves are reflected in the slow flowing water. During our walk, we saw a farmer plowing the fields for the next crop to be planted and ready to harvest for the following year. It is encouraging to witness the hard work of farmers to ensure that there will be agricultural products to harvest and sell in the market for us to consume. The path eventually leads back to the ruins of Kirkham Priory, which can be viewed from the opposite riverbank. The priory was an Augustinian priory founded in the 1120s by the Lord of nearby Helmsley. The priory prospered during the 12th century with many gifts and donations received in exchange for spiritual services, such as the saying of prayers and masses or burial with the cemetery. When Henry VIII activated the dissolution of the monasteries in 1535, the priory was safe from suppression for a further 4 years. This was due to a high income of £269 because at the time only lesser monasteries were targeted, and these had income below £200 a year. In December 1539, the monastery came to end, with King Henry's commissioners stripping the building of anything of value and selling the site to Henry Nevet, with building stone removed to build a local manor house. Today, the site is owned and maintained by English Heritage. Walking through Kirkham and along the River Derwent is one of the many walks in the Vale of York, and I hope to explore more of these areas soon. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more Getaways with Noel. Thank you for watching.